Okay, let's have a quick look at BIMDAS, which is basically the method we use in solving long sums following a particular order of operations. Okay, so our order of operations in a long sum means that we must solve anything in the brackets first before we look at and solve any part of the sum that is raised to an index or a power. Then we'll go on to look through the sum from left to right, and we'll work on any multiplications or divisions. And it depends which one we hit first, going from left to right. That's how we just decide which one to do. Before we go on to look at any additions or subtractions, going from left to right. So the BIMDAS means that dealing with brackets is more important. Then we deal with indices of powers. Then we look at multiply and divide, and they are kind of equally ranked, if you like. It's whichever one we hit first, before we look at addition and subtractions. And again, addition or subtraction, they're equal to once we get to those. So here's an example. The way to do these is we always scan from left to right, and first of all we look for what's in brackets. There it is, and we solve that. 10 plus 2 is 9. Then we look for any numbers that are raised or have an index or an indice, and this is 2 squared, so we solve that. That becomes 4. Then we look from left to right, and there's no more brackets, no more indices. Let's look for division multiplication signs. There's one here. 18 divided by 6 is 3. Let's go along again, and we see there's one here. Division sign, so 9 divided by 3 is 3. And then we go along again this new line, and we see we actually have a multiplication sign, so this is 21. And now we look for any addition or subtractions, and the first one we see actually is in addition, so 3 is 4 is 7. Then we have 7 minus 3 is 4, plus 1 is 5, plus 21 is 26. Here's another example here. This sum is 4 by 2 minus 1 plus, all in brackets, 1 plus 2, and that's all squared, times 2 divided by 3. So 4 times, so we work through this, and the first thing to do is to clean what's in the brackets. 1 plus 2 is 3. Then we look for anything that's raised to a power or it has an index number, and we see that what was in the brackets is also raised to the power 2, so that's 3 squared is 9, and now we're looking for any multiplication and division signs. There's one there, 4 2s are 8, and we go along, we actually see 9 by 2, so that'll become 18. As we go along again, we find that we have 18 divided by 3, that's 6. So we've dealt with all the brackets, indices, multiplied and divide. Now we're looking at any subtractions or additions. 8 minus 1 is 7, plus 6 is 13. So that's BIMDAS, the order of operations. Now another very important method in maths is to be sure and know how to work with positive and negative numbers. So when we're working with positive and negative numbers, we're either adding stroke subtracting them, or we might be multiplying, dividing them. So let's look at what we do. What's the rule if we're adding and subtracting positive and negative numbers? So the first thing to do is, if I have two numbers like plus 6 minus 7, I need to look at the signs. If the signs are different, if one number I'm adding to the other is positive and the other is negative, if they're different, then I keep the sign of the bigger number and take the small number from the big. So if I have plus 6 minus 7, the bigger number there is the 7, so I keep the sign of that, which is minus, and I take the little number from the big. 6 from 7 is 1. So plus 6 minus 7 is minus 1. What about if the signs are the same? Well, if the signs are the same, I keep the sign I keep the sign, they're the same, whatever the sign is, I'll keep that, and I just add the two numbers. So minus 6 minus 7, the signs are the same, keep the sign, add the numbers, becomes minus 13. And then if I'm multiplying or dividing, the same rule applies for both numbers with positive and negative numbers. Like signs give a plus sign in the answer, unlike signs give a minus sign in the answer. So for multiplication, plus times plus, plus 3 by plus 2 gives a plus answer. Minus by minus gives a plus because their like signs give plus. Unlike signs, positive by negative gives negative, negative by positive gives negative. So plus 3 times minus 2, I'm just using the multiplication dot there, not the multiplication sign. But plus 3 times minus 2, plus by negative is negative because they're unlike, and 3 by 2 is 6, minus 6. Minus 2 by minus 3, minus by minus gives plus, like signs give plus, 2 by 3 is 6. And for division then it's the same. Like signs, a plus divided by a plus gives a plus, and minus divided by a minus gives a plus, they're like signs. Minus divided by plus, negative, plus divided by minus is negative. So minus 6 divided by 3, that's negative, this is positive, they're not the same, they're unlike, they give minus 6 divided by 3 is 2. Minus 12 divided by minus 4, minus and minus, they're like signs, they give plus, 12 divided by 4 is 3. A really important rule to know in maths as well is when we're multiplying the contents inside brackets by a negative number outside the brackets. So I'm just going to ask now, what is, or simplify, minus brackets 3 inside the brackets? Okay, well, minus 3 inside the brackets is actually the same as, there's a 1 there but you don't see it, okay? Same as minus 1 times plus 3. Okay, so now really this is like looking at this problem here. Minus 1 times plus 3. Now it's not minus 1 plus 3, it's minus 1 multiplied by plus 3. So minus by plus, unlike signs, give negative. 1 by 3 gives 3. So minus brackets 3 is actually equal to minus 3. And if we look here, minus 4, that's the same as, there's a minus 1 outside the brackets there. It's the same as minus 1 times minus 4. So minus by minus gives plus, 1 by 4 gives 4. Minus 3 by 2, minus by the plus sign in there gives minus, and 3 by 2 gives 6. So be very careful with the minus sign outside brackets. It actually kind of acts like a switch in that it switches the sign. So if we have, it switches the signs of the numbers inside the brackets. So now we'll look at simplifying algebraic expressions, which is all about gathering like terms. But what is a like term? Well, like terms have the same letter, and that same letters are raised to the same power. So 3x squared, the letter, and minus 2x squared, x is the same, and they're both raised to the same power. They're like terms. Okay, 3x squared minus 2x squared. The key being the x squared is the like term there. 4x and 7x, they are like terms as well. 2x squared and 4x are not like terms. We won't be gathering these together because although the letter is the same, they don't have the same power. So here's an example. Simplify. It doesn't say solve, so note that. Normally when it says solve, you're finding a value for x is 3 or whatever. But just simplify. So simplify x squared plus 3x plus 2x squared minus 5x. And the way to approach these is to rewrite what you see, the best way from left to right in order of the highest powers, the 2's, the ones that you don't see, and then if there's just numbers by themselves with no variable. So basically we gather in order of the powers. So I have x squared plus 2x squared plus 3x minus 5x. And don't forget that the sign travels with the terms. Okay? So if we simplify that then further, we can see, well actually, x squared plus 2x squared, then we add those terms as 3x squared and plus 3x minus 5x plus minus negative, plus and minus, take the sign of the bigger numbers, minus, take the little and the big, minus 2x. Okay, another one, simplify. 2 multiplied by everything inside the brackets, x squared plus 4x minus 1, minus 2x plus 5. So 2 by x squared is 2x squared, 2 by 4x is plus 8x, and 2 by minus 1 is minus 2, minus 2x plus 5. Gather your terms. There's 2x squared, no other x squared terms. There's 8x minus 2x, and then we have minus 2 plus 5. That gives us 2x squared plus 6x plus 3. So you're just gathering the like terms there. So removing brackets and simplifying. So how do we do that? Let's multiply 3x minus 1 by 2x plus 5. So 3x by 2x is 6x squared. 3x by 5 is plus 15x. Minus 1 by 2x is minus 2x. And minus 1 by plus 5 is minus 5. And then we gather the terms. 6x squared plus 15 minus 2x is plus 13x minus 5. Sometimes we're asked to evaluate expressions. So we're given an expression 2a plus b, moving away from x's and y's now for a change, where a is equal to 3 and b is equal to minus 2. How do you evaluate that expression? Well, you simply substitute 3 in for where you see a and minus 2 where you see b. Okay? So we have 2 times 3 is 6, and then we've plus brackets minus 2. So what's going on here? That's really plus 1 times minus 2. Plus by minus gives minus, and 1 by 2 is 2. So always that 1 you can't see, but it's there. So 6 minus 2 is 4. Evaluate 3x squared plus y squared when x is equal to 2 and y equals minus 3. So again, where x, we plug in 2, where we see y, we plug in minus 3. We work out what's in the brackets first, so 2 squared is 4, 3 fours are 12, and minus 3 squared is plus 9, minus by minus gives plus 9, 3 by 3 is 9, 12 plus 9 is 21.